Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day. So we're back here in Acts 10 again, is where we're at, and this is a chapter where people say that food was made clean. This is the people who don't keep the Torah say this is how we can do it, and it's no longer unclean food, but food we can eat because of what happens in this chapter. And today we're going to go over that. We're doing an Acts 10 examination to see if we can really eat unclean food, to see if everything, all the law breaking in the Old Testament, if that was just a waste of time. Let's start in verse 1. There was a certain man in Kerekaya called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared Yah with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to Yah always. So this guy helps people. He's a good guy. His name's Cornelius, and he fears Yahuwah. Those who don't know, the name of God in Hebrew is Yahuwah, his original name. There's only one name on which I save, and that is Yehoshua, which is his Hebrew name. So guys, Yahuwah is the name we should be calling upon, right? Yeshua is our salvation. Yahuwah is our Elohim, our God. He saw in a vision, evidently, about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of Yahuwah. Yahuwah is right here, you guys can see. Yahuwah, I'm the one who breathes life. Behold the nail, behold hands. That is his name. An angel of Yahuwah coming into him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, Who is it, Adonai? And he said unto him, Your prayers and your alms are come up for a memorial before Yahuwah. Now send men to Joppa, and call for one Shimon, whose name is Kepha. Kepha is Peter. He's a disciple, Peter, of Yeshua, Jesus. He is a disciple. He lodges with one Shimon, a tanner, whose house is on by the seaside. He shall tell you what you ought to do. And when the angel spoke unto Cornelius, and Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them waited on him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa. So he sends an angel, right? He's trying to learn stuff. He wants to learn about Yahuwah, wants to learn what to do, how to become closer to him. And an angel comes to him and says what to do, right? He sends him to find Peter, Kepha. On the morrow, as they went on their journey, and drew nigh unto the city, Kepha went up upon the housetop to pray at the 6th hour. And he became very hungry, and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So lunch had been prepared, right? He was going to go eat, but something happened. Like he fell asleep, he saw some visions, something happened, right? This is very important to him. This needed to happen. And saw heaven open, and certain vessel ascending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the 4 corners, and let down to earth. Alright, so we have a giant sheet that comes down from earth, from heaven, right, from the sky, and he sees a giant sheet, wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts on the earth, and wild beasts, creeping creatures, fowls of the air. So all kind of animals, all the animals, right? All the animals, clean, unclean, all in there. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Kepha, kill and eat. So they say to Peter to kill and eat these unclean animals, these wild animals. But Kepha said, Not so Adonai, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. So this man in his whole life has never eaten anything unclean, right? He has followed the Torah very well. He has never eaten anything unclean. No pig, no shrimp, nothing. No pork, no nothing at all. And the voice spoke unto him again the 2nd time. What Yah has cleansed, that call not uncommon. So he's like, what animals have been cleansed, you do not eat, right? What Yahuwah has cleaned, they are not, you could call them unclean anymore, right? That was done thrice, and the vessel was received up into heaven. So Peter saw the same 3 times. They said to eat unclean animals. So now Peter's probably very confused. He doesn't know what's going on. Now while Kepha doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Shimon's house, and stood before the gate, and called and asked whether Shimon, which was surnamed Kepha, were lodged there. So the men from Cornelius show up right after he has vision. Right after he has vision, they show up, and they're looking for him. And called and asked whether Shimon, which was surnamed Kepha, were lodged there. While Kepha thought on the vision, the Ruach said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek you. Arise therefore, and get you down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. So now he hears something that says, Go with them, I sent them, you need to do this. Then Kepha went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius centurion, just a man, and one that feared Yah, and of good report among all the nation of Yahudah, was warned from Yah by a holy angel to send for you into his house to hear the words of you. All right, so he wants to hear what Peter has to say about this, right? He wants to learn from Peter. He has been sent for Peter, right? Then called he them in and lodged them. And on the morrow Kepha went away with them, and certain brethren from Jaffa accompanied him. So people went with him, they all left, they went back to Cornelius. And on the morrow, after they entered into Kedekiah, and Cornelius waited for them, and he had called together his kinsmen and near friends. So he brought all these people together to hear Peter, right? And as Kepha was coming in, Cornelius met him, and fell down at his feet, and worshipped him. But Kepha took him up, saying, "Stand up, for I myself am also a man." So he started worshiping Peter, and he's like, "No, don't worship me, I'm just a man like you," right? And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together. And he said unto them, "Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for that is a Yahudi to keep company or come unto another one of another nation," right? So the people of Israel, the people of Yahudi, weren't supposed to be hanging out with the other nations, right? But something had changed. Right here. "But Yahuwah showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean." So he wasn't talking about food at all. In fact, he was talking about men, right? He was talking about all the other nations need to hear the word. They need to now be, not just the Israel, everyone, all the other nations, all the people need to know this, because the people were Gentiles, right? You're not supposed to put people of Israel and Gentiles together, right? Gentiles are nations outside of Israel. And so these Gentiles now were going to hear the word, and these men are no longer unclean. "Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying. As soon as I was sent for, I asked therefore what intent ye have sent for me. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour, and at the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing. And said, Cornelius, your prayer is heard, and your alms are in remembrance in the sight of Yahuwah." So I was going over what he said. He just explained to Peter what he saw and why he sent for Kepha. "Send therefore to Jaffa, and call hither Shimon, whose surname is Kepha. And he is lodged in the house of one Shimon Tanner by the seaside, who, when he comes, shall speak unto you. And immediately, therefore, I sent to you, and you have well done that you are come. Now, therefore, we are all here present before Yah to hear the things that are commanded of Yahuwah." Now, what is commanded of Yahuwah? We wouldn't know, right? It's like if we didn't read the first 5 books, we wouldn't know what Yahuwah commands. Yahuwah's commands are the Torah. What he wants is the Torah, right? This man wanted to learn the Torah. He wanted to become closer with Yah. So he learned the Torah. So guys, I'm going to end it here. We are not supposed to eat unclean food. If you are still eating unclean food, we need to stop this now, because you are still breaking and sinning, right? You're still breaking the Torah of Yahuwah. And that you will be judged for that on Judgment Day. So guys, I hope you guys found this very helpful and insightful. I ask that you do not eat unclean foods and read the Torah. Understand what you can eat and what you cannot eat. It tells you all about what you can eat and what you can't eat in the Torah. Guys, have a great day, and do not eat unclean food.